Papua. Let me pay my sincere condolences to the family for this untimely loss. I stand here representing the executive government and the entire people of this country that we have truly, in an untimely manner, by our human standards, lost a man who is a champion to the public service. He is an esteemed brain of our country, more so specialized in the space of politics and the political science. I first met him in 1990 as a student in his class, and possibly hearing some of his words may have influenced me into politics. However, he has served distinctively as a public servant. I was sitting here doing calculations and realized when he taught me in 1990, he was only 26. Only 26. And so a young Papua New Guinean at that time, teaching young Papua New Guineans coming through. There's an example, and since then, 1990 up till today, I did my calculations. There would have been 7 occasions he would have contested. The 1992 elections, the 1997 elections up till 2022. And I want to say thank you to him, representing many class of Papua New Guineans who choose to remain as true blue-blood Papua New Guinean public servants who have never crossed a line into politics. You have remained a faithful servant to your country in the space of public service. Thank you very much, Dr. Gelu, and many of public servants. As a political scientist, he had all the knowledge and skills to be a successful candidate, but he chose not to. He remained faithful to his calling in the space of being a public servant. He lived through many transitions of government. He has always been appointed on merits. The latest appointment he was bestowed upon was the Secretary of the Department of Provincial and Local Level Government, appointed on merits. 2011, he was appointed on merits when 2 governments were in transition, the Somali government to the O'Neill government. A classical example of what faithful, honest, and true public servants can achieve. Governments come and go in as far as politics is concerned, but your tenure in office lives on because you served true to your calling as a public servant at heart. He was an example of those who lived a life in calling to the public service, and I am here today as Prime Minister in this juncture of our nation's life, and in the sad moment of his passing, to pay respect to him, especially in his life of service as a public servant committed to the call of duty. Does not matter what, who is at office, but does not matter what, whether it is raining or sunshine. He represents a class of Papua New Guineans who have been faithful to the call of duty. I just want to say thank you very much, Dr. Gelu. I do not have many words to add beyond the good words that have already been expressed as tribute and as eulogy to the man who was part of a class of Papua New Guineans who laid down the foundation for our generation today to look on as inspiration and as example to take this country beyond this time. When he was called to be appointed as the Secretary of that department, it came at a time when we were looking for leadership into this important department to enhance the functionality of our provincial government system and to ensure that our land of diversity is embraced in the provincial government structures we have in our country. I'm rather sad. What we thought would be a great experience to anchor some of the programs that we want to do in this department is left in the vacuum, the great vacuum that he has created, but nonetheless, his writings, his teachings, his experiences, and the exposure each and every one of us, including the family, relate to how he has lived his life, can shape us for the better as we all live to contribute to our country. He was truly an authentic Papua New Guinean Melanesian who did not hide his origin, but maintained decorum in the place of work to ensure work gets done. I just want to place on record our country's great appreciation for the man he was, the life he lived, and the service he gave to what our country is today. To the family and the greater tribe, the Nakanai tribe, and the people of West New Britain, thank you for lending a great son of this country. He belonged to Papua New Guineans who were born in the face of our nation's independence and who were schooled in the 60s and 70s, who have contributed so much in anchoring our democracy and our country in what it is today. May a generation that come after us, or after this generation especially, don't hide behind mystical world of Facebook, WhatsApps, and the fake think tanks, but be practical practitioners of public service as you engage in serving our country for the better going forward. Many times we just talk for the sake of talking with offer of no criticism, responsible criticism to make an alternate to public policies work better for our country. The man lying before us, never a big noise in the public space, but inspired so much, wrote in great details, and contributed his bit to our country, whether it was in the office of the racial political parties to stabilize and give meaning to politics, or whether in the time he taught many at UPNG or wrote researches. And God only knows why he's rested early, but I just want to counsel every one of us who are alive, take inspiration, find your space to contribute to our country. And lastly, but not the least, look after your health. I repeat, lastly, but not the least, look after your health by managing your time well. Give time to exercise. Give time to medical examinations. Give time to rest. For our life is time-bound. My Bible definition of average life, it is 70 years. Psalms 90 verse 10. That same chapter, I'm no pastor, but let me say this as the appointed voice of authority at this point in time to young Papua New Guineans, professionals, and all alike. Give time to your health. Do medical examinations regularly. Eat healthy food. Live healthy lifestyle. If you want to live beyond the Bible's given average lifespan of 70 years and plus. For many Papua New Guineans are found to demise much earlier. For losing Dr. Gelu, for instance, is a huge loss to our country. His expertise for the next 10 years that we wanted to abstract and use to good use is taken away. And I just want to offer in conclusion at the passing of this great mentor of some of us. For some of us sat in his class and have learned also from him. Let us manage the time God has given us, and let us manage our own life by looking after our own health. Remove coke and sweet and sugar from your diet. I say this with the greatest of all respect, and I'm taking time to repeat this because I have seen many Papua New Guineans die early. It is not your change you make today that influence the longevity of your life. It is the input you have put in 20, 30, 40 years in your life that adds up to the sum or the deduction of the sum of your life. And I know many Papua New Guinean public servants are here today. Your country needs you. I see in the hall as we celebrate this life, all of you, heads of department and public servants who are here, your contribution to the country is immense, but your continued contribution is required. My government has been basing on merit-based appointment process, and the merit-based appointment process is entrenched and will carry on into the future. But what is the relevance of a merit-based appointment process if good public servants are leaving us one by one through the inputs you make into your life? God gave you wisdom, into intelligence you have. I counsel each and every one of us, manage your life. Eliminate coke and soft drinks and alcohol from your life. And work through life. Hopefully you and me can live much, much longer to the 70 plus years that God has allocated for each and every one of us. May God bless each and every one of you. To the family, we cannot give you back life, but we want to say thank you for the life He has given to our country. To the best of our ability, as speaking as Prime Minister, we'll try our absolute best to honor some of the timeless values He taught in some of us. One of them was democracy as the best form of government for our country now and going forward into the future. May God bless the legacy of late Dr. Alphonse Gelu. Rest in peace, brother.